Essential English Grammar, a friendly approach. Welcome. Thank you for purchasing this e-course brought to you by English Reservoir, English language experts. This course will last approximately 3.5 hours and is specifically designed to help you with the absolute essentials of English grammar while using a friendly and inductive approach. That is, a method with explanations, contextual dialogue, and analysis. This is not a typical boring grammar index. Throughout this course, divided up into chapters, we're going to learn about the essentials of English grammar, which are the 6 parts of speech: nouns or pronouns, adjectives, verbs, passive and active, adverbs, prepositions and conjunctions, plus interjections. Try not to get scared of the grammar. Rather, learn it in a fun, contextual, and easily comprehensive manner. Correct usage of grammar is essential to speak perfectly. So that's why we have prepared this fun course for you to get motivated and learning quickly. Very simple terms are used to explain the grammar, and everything is taught in an incredibly understandable manner with lots of context. Course layout or how-to guide. This course is divided up into chapters and subsections. You should take it slowly and only do a maximum of 30 minutes per day. Watch the tutorial videos with your complete concentration and make sure you understand everything before moving on to the next section. This course does not cover all essential English grammar, but covers the most important aspects, which includes the 6 parts of speech plus interjections. Who should do this course? If you have a medium to high level, or you know a lot of English already, but you want to refresh your current knowledge and maybe even learn a few things, then this is the right course for you. What are the 6 parts of speech, and why is this course focused on it? The 6 parts of speech are what constitute the whole English language. The 6 parts of speech are nouns, pronouns, verbs, active and passive, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, plus interjections. So is this just a boring grammar index? No, absolutely not. The sole purpose of this fun e-learning course is to teach you all the essential English grammar. That is, the 6 parts of speech which are necessary to speak and understand English properly. By learning in a fun, inductive, and contextual manner, you'll stay motivated, entertained, and most importantly, learn how to speak and understand English correctly. Is this an entire grammar index covering all the English grammar? No. This course covers the absolute essentials or basics of English grammar so that you can understand and speak properly. If you're satisfied with this course, there will be another, more advanced course made available to you that will cover more difficult aspects of the English language for advanced learners. Do I need to start the course from the beginning? No, absolutely not. You can also use this course to refresh parts of your grammar knowledge. It is recommended, though, if you're a complete beginner, to start the course from the very beginning. What's the method of this course? 1. Explanation. A quick explanation on a new grammar point. 2. Context. A short dialogue or text putting into practice the new concept or grammar point. 3. Here, superscripts in the context are used to label difficult grammar points, idioms, and expressions that need extra explanations. 4. Section review. A complete review after every section using context, either dialogue or text. No superscripts included in this part. What are the small numbers or superscripts at the top of some of the words for? These small numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., or superscripts, are inserted above certain words or phrases which need to be elaborated on further in the notes sections after every excerpt or dialogue. Take note of the number and make sure you understand all the explanations numbered accordingly. What are the section reviews after every section? The section reviews are basically just a follow-up on the previously learned sections. The reviews will consist of an excerpt or dialogue incorporating all the elements learned, thus using a friendly and contextual means to properly learn and put into practice the new concepts. Contents. Chapter 1. 1. Pronouns. Subject, object, and possessive pronouns. 2. Section review. 3. Main auxiliaries. Be, have, and do. 4. Section review. 5. Articles. Indefinite, an, definite, the, and zero article or no article. 6. Section review. Chapter 2. Verbs. Active and passive. Active. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, future simple. Section review. Passive. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, future simple. Section review. Chapter 3. 1. Modal auxiliaries. Can, could, may, might, will, shall, must, would, ought to, should, need to, and dare to. 2. Section review. Chapter 4. 1. Adjectives. Demonstrative, interrogative, possessive, and qualifying adjectives. 2. Section review. 3. Adverbs. Frequency, place, time, manner, degree, sentence, relative, and interrogative adverbs. 4. Section review. 5. Nouns. Countable, uncountable, proper, common, concrete, abstract, collective, and compound nouns. 6. Section review. Chapter 5. 1. Prepositions. Simple. 2. Section review. 3. Conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. 4. Section review. 5. Interjections. 6. Section review. Hi, this is Thomas. Welcome to the first chapter. Chapter 1. 1. Pronouns. Subject, object, and possessive pronouns. 2. Section review. 3. Main auxiliaries. Be, have, and do. 4. Section review. 5. Articles. Indefinite, an, definite, the, and zero article, that is, no article. 6. Section review. Okay, let's get started. Pronouns. Pronouns are words that we use to replace nouns. In English, we have subject, object, and possessive pronouns. Subject pronouns. What are subject pronouns exactly? Pronouns are words we use in English to substitute nouns. So instead of using a noun, we replace it with a pronoun to avoid redundancy and have less repetitiveness. Subject pronouns are the subject of the sentence, not the object, i.e., I like sports. I is the subject and the subject pronoun. Sports is the object of the sentence. We can replace sports with the object pronoun them. Here are the subject pronouns in English. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, plural, they. Hi, how are you? I am fine, thanks. Is it a nice day today? Yes, it certainly is. Do you have any friends? Yes, 2 friends. They are called Jessica and David. Do they both study English? No. David is studying Chinese and he really likes it. Jessica is studying French and she doesn't really like it. Do you guys want to go home? Sure, let's go. Analysis. 1. Note, all the subject pronouns are underlined. 2. The subject pronouns replace or substitute the nouns in the sentences or questions, but only as a subject of the sentence or question. 3. David is the subject of the sentence. David can be replaced with the subject pronoun he. 4. Guys is common in English. We want to use the plural you form. We do this so that we can distinguish between singular and plural. Object pronouns. What are object pronouns exactly? Object pronouns are the object of the sentence, i.e., she likes me. Me is the object and object pronoun of the sentence. The subject and subject pronoun is she. Here are the object pronouns in English. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, plural, them. Good morning, sir. Do you remember me? Yes, you're James. I remember you well. What are you doing today? I am studying English with my friends. Have you met them before? No, I haven't. Tell me about them. Okay, I sit next to them in class. Maria and Sam are their names. Maria is 1 year older than me, and I really like talking to her. Sam is 2 years younger than me, and I speak a lot with him also. I would like you guys to start a new English class with English Reservoir. I think you would like it. What do you reckon? Sure, let's try it. Note, the object pronouns are underlined. 2. Pronouns always substitute the noun. And here, the object pronouns are the object of the sentence. 3. Let's is a common English expression. Here, let's works as an imperative form, i.e., let's go to the mall or let's eat sushi. Remember, let's is the contracted form of let us. Us is the object pronoun. The subject pronoun of us is we. Main auxiliaries: be, have, and do. Auxiliary verb to be. Base form, be. Present form, am, is, are. Past form, was, were. Present participle or gerund, being. Past participle, being. To be. 1. We use the auxiliary verb to be to make a sentence attributable. That is, we use the verb to be with adjectives. Adjectives modify or describe nouns or pronouns by qualifying or expressing them. All the various types of the auxiliary verb to be from above are in the following dialogue. To be is used with adjectives to describe people or things. Sam, what do you like most about what you're studying? Well, I'm studying education, and for me, it's very insightful, fun, and hard. Why did you decide to study education? Because it's required for the teaching sector. I also find it to be very practical and useful. So, why would you like to be a teacher? I think being a teacher would be difficult, but also fulfilling. Some of my friends are also studying education, and they are very excited to be following that path. How long have your friends been interested in education for? They've been interested in education for over 3 years now. Dialogue 2. Hey Lucy, how's your job? It's great, thanks. The job is very demanding, but also exciting. I'm happy for you. How's the boss, anyhow? The boss is nice, but also strict. He's also very busy. Analysis. 1. Adjectives are underlined and always take the auxiliary verb to be. 2. Remember, it's is the contracted form of it is. Is stands from the verb to be in third person singular. To be. 2. We use to be to talk about age, height, weight, size, and colors of people and things. Hi Susie, how's the baby these days? She's doing fine. Currently, she's around 15 kilos, which is normal for her age. Oh, how old is she then? She is 2 years old. What's her hair color? She's got light brown hair and has dark brown eyes. Analysis. Remember, how's is the contracted form of how is. We're using the verb to be because we're talking about the baby's qualities. 2. She's is the contracted form of she is. And we're using the verb to be to talk about the baby's weight. To be. 3. We use the auxiliary verb to be to form the present continuous or present progressive verb tense in English. We use this tense primarily to talk about actions happening in the moment and actions happening in the short-term future. We will elaborate further on this in chapter 2, where we will talk about the main verbs in English. To be plus verb plus ing. Are you living in Washington now? Yes. I moved here with my family about 3 years ago. How are you anyhow? What are you doing these days? I'm studying a master's degree in Los Angeles, California. I'm really enjoying it also. What are you doing this summer? I am leaving the state of California to go to New York to see my parents. What about you? I am going to take a trip to Europe and see Italy and Spain. Can't wait. Great to hear. How are your children, Jane and David? They are well, thanks. David is doing a gap year and Jane's studying history. Great to hear. Anyhow, we'll catch up again. See you later. Bye. Analysis. Going to is also a form and means literally to have the intention. To. Catch up is a phrasal verb meaning to meet and see each other if there had already been a time without seeing that particular person. 3. Remember, we're going to elaborate further on the present continuous in the second chapter. To be. 4. We use the auxiliary verb to be to form the passive in English. In English, there are two ways to use a verb, active or passive. We will elaborate much further on the passive in the second chapter. Rule. To be plus past participle, verb plus ed, or irregular verb. I am supposed to work every day. He wasn't allowed to come to school today. Madrid is visited by many tourists each year. The football world championships are held in Russia this year. You aren't allowed to cycle here. He isn't used to traveling. He was born in Munich. The car was cleaned by him. We weren't spoken to yesterday by anyone. The book was read in 2 weeks. Analysis. 1. Be born. Always takes the verb to be. It is always in the passive. 2. Remember. The passive is to be plus past participle. So in this case, it is the first person of to be plus am plus supposed. 3. There are many reasons as to why we use the passive in English. In Chapter 2, we're going to elaborate much further on the passive. Auxiliary verb to have. Base form, have. Present form, have has. Past form, had. Present participle or gerund, having. Past participle, had. Have. 1. We use the auxiliary verb to have to show possession or ownership of objects, relationships, and people. Rule. Have has plus object, relationship, or person. Good evening. How's your day been today? Very good, thanks. Do you have a moment to see me about our meeting yesterday? Sure. What seems to be the issue? Well, I don't have a lot of time, but I have the contract and there were a few mistakes. Mind if we correct them? No problem. Let me know. You wrote that we have 2 building projects, although I think you meant that we have 3. Am I right? Yes, sorry, you're right. We have 3 building projects. Do you have any idea what we might call the project? Sorry, no clue. Never mind. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. You too. See you tomorrow. Analysis. 1. Remember that has is the contracted form, which means how has. So, we use the verb to have plus object, relationship, or person to show a possession. We can always put objects between the verb to have and the thing being possessed. 3. In this case, the thing in the middle is your. It's a possessive adjective. 3 refers to the 3 building projects. 3 functions as a pronoun here. Have. Number 2. We use the auxiliary verb to have to talk about experiences and actions. I'm sick of having such a boring time at school. I would prefer to go on a foreign exchange and have some fun time abroad. I couldn't even imagine the experiences I'd have. Having to spend so much time at school is never really that fun or exciting. I wish I could just hang out with foreign students. Even though I would have a lot more work to do abroad, I just know I'd have such a fantastic time. Analysis. 1. I'd is the contracted form of I would. It can also mean I had. 2. Hang out is a phrasal verb meaning to be with or spend time with. 3. I'd is the contracted form here of I would. Have. 3. We use the auxiliary verb to have plus to plus infinitive to express obligation. Hi Katie, what are you doing this weekend? Well, not a lot of things to be honest. I have to clean my room and help my parents out. Do you have to do a lot of chores? Yes, and I'm not looking forward to them either. What will you be doing anyhow? I have to see the doctor for an appointment. Then I really need to must book my flights to Germany for the weekend. Analysis. 1. What are you doing is a present continuous tense being used to show an action that is happening in the future. 2. Remember, the construction have or has plus to plus infinitive as we see here. 3. Look forward to is a phrasal verb meaning waiting with anxiety or want to see someone or something. 4. There are other modal auxiliary verbs that have the equivalent meaning to have has plus to plus infinitive. For example, need to and must. Auxiliary verb to do. Base form, do. Present form, do, does. Past form, did. Present participle or gerund, doing. Past participle, done. To do. 1. We use the auxiliary in ordinary verb to do to make questions in English. We use do with normal verbs, not auxiliary verbs, to make questions. Do is the main verb for making questions in English. Hello, Matt. What are you doing today? Hi. I'm about to leave to go to the supermarket. Oh, nice. What do you normally buy? I usually just get the basics for the week. Oats, bananas, apples, etc. How's your friend, by the way? What's she doing these days? She's great. She's working in a pharmacy. She's quite enjoying it. Did she do some sort of course? Yes, she went to the Polytechnic for 2 years. Wow, nice. Does she have to work a lot? Well, only the standard 8-hour shift. Did she go to the Polytechnic in Boston? Yes, she did. Analysis. 1. What are you doing today? Notice that this is a present continuous tense that refers to the actions in the short-term future. 2. About to is a very common structure in English. It means to do something within the next few moments. 3. Remember, the typical structure for asking a question in the present simple is do plus subject plus normal verb. 4. Do is both an auxiliary and a normal verb in English. For example, what did you do? The second do is a normal verb. To do. Number 2. We use the auxiliary verb to do to add extra emphasis to our sentences or answers. What did you do last summer? I went to Madrid, Spain. Did you enjoy it? I did enjoy it. The place is amazing, especially the Prado and Sofia museums. What about your wife? Did she accompany you? Yes, she certainly did. She did not, however, enjoy the summer heat. We do not cope very well with the heat. So you guys liked Spain then? Yes, we did. We'll certainly return next July. Analysis. Remember, do, in this example, functions as a normal verb, not an auxiliary verb. 2. I did enjoy it is a way of adding emphasis. Without emphasis, it would be I enjoyed it. 3. She certainly did is short for she certainly enjoyed it. 4. When using negatives, we can apply emphasis by not using the contraction, as you can see here. 5. Once again, emphasis in the negative by not using a contraction. 6. We use guys to show that we're speaking in the plural form. To do. Number 3. We use the auxiliary verb to do to negate or make sentences or questions negative. We only use do to negate ordinary verbs, not auxiliary verbs. For example, can, could, shall, be, may, might, shall are all auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs. Do you like going out at night? No, I don't. It's just not my thing. I prefer to stay at home at night with a good book and a hot meal. What about you? Do you go out at night, and what do you like about it? Well, yes, I like going out at night, but I don't really like being in close spaces with too many people. I also don't enjoy drinking beer that much either. Yeah, I am not really a fan of closed spaces either. Most people don't enjoy closed spaces either. It's normal. So, do you not really like beer then? Basically, I just don't like the standard beer, but I do like quality beer if it's being sold. Analysis. 1. No, I don't is short for no, I don't like going out at night. It's a form of ellipsis. Don't is the contracted form of do not. 3. Notice how with auxiliary verbs that aren't to do, we only use the adverb not to negate. This is the case with all auxiliary verbs apart from to do. Here, do is putting emphasis on the sentence. Instead of saying I like, we're saying I do like, which is more emphatic. To do. 4. We use the auxiliary verb to do to form question tags in English. We only use to do to form question tags with normal verbs, not other auxiliary verbs, i.e. can, be, have, may, might. We use question tags when we assume the answer and need clarification. You enjoy sailing, don't you? Yes, I enjoy sailing. He went on vacation to Australia, didn't he? Yes, he did. James and Mary left for lunch, didn't they? Yes, I think they did. Gemma has an Apple phone, doesn't she? Hasn't she? Yes, she does. Has. You bought me a coffee yesterday, didn't you? I did, yes. He works as an engineer, doesn't he? I think he is, yes. They sold us a smartphone, didn't they? Yes. I think it's an Apple smartphone. I don't think he likes me, does he? Analysis. Went is the past simple of to go, which is a normal verb. That's why we use to do in the question tag. 2. James and Mary are the subjects of the sentence. That's why in the question tag we refer to the subject or subjects with the adequate pronoun, of course. In this case, it is they because it's plural. When we use the verb to have, an auxiliary verb, we can either use to do or to have in the question tag. 4. With question tags, it's always positive to negative or negative to positive. Section review. Dialogue 1. Auxiliary verb to be. My name is David, and I'm an engineer. I'm a relaxed and nice person. I'm 32 years old, and I'm 1.84 meters. I also have 2 colleagues who are also engineers. They're such nice people and are happy with their jobs. James, who is one of my friends, is 26 years old and is currently living in California. I'm planning on meeting him this weekend for a beer. My other friend, Henry, is 35 years old and lives near me. He's fun, caring, and very smart. Henry is working on a project right now and is also studying part-time a degree in history. Dialogue 2. Auxiliary verb to have. Hello, nice to meet you. What's your name? My name's Daniel, and yours? Jake. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Daniel. Well, I come from North America, a state called Washington. I have 2 daughters and a wife. We all have a nice time together living up north near the border of Canada. We also have a house in the countryside. Nice to hear. So, what do you do during the day? Well, I have a large farm where I live, and have to take care of the cows that we have on the property. It's a lot of work. What sort of work do you have to do then? I have to wake up early every morning and I have to do all the duties, working throughout the day. It's a lifestyle choice though. I'm having a great time and I fully enjoy my job. Dialogue 3. Auxiliary verb to do. Job interview. Hello, sir. My name is Mr. Ford. What kind of work experience do you have? I have been working as an analyst for the last 5 years in a big consultancy firm. How did you find the experience there? Well, I really liked it despite it being very hard with lots of working hours. Do you take any breaks or vacation while you were working there? Yes, I did take one break for around 3 weeks in July last year. Although I didn't have a very easy time when I got back because I had a lot of work to catch up on, recuperate. That's good to hear. So you worked very hard last semester, didn't you? Yes, I did. You worked at that consultancy firm for 5 years, didn't you? Yes. Very well. It's nice to meet you. We shall keep in touch. Thank you for your time. Thanks. Articles. An, the, and zero article. Indefinite articles. An. We use indefinite articles, an, to introduce the subject or object, and generally for the first time. An goes before vowels. A, E, I, O, U. And a goes before consonants. That is, any letter that's not a vowel. A, E, I, O, U. My name is Maria, and I work as a nurse in a hospital. When I was a child, I always wanted to be a lawyer, but I became bored of all the legal work. What about you? What do you do for a living? Well, I'm a full-time chef. I work in a restaurant near the main square in the city center. I've got a great deal of passion for cooking. And ever since I was younger, I always wanted to be a chef. That's so amazing. What sort of meals do you generally cook? I cook Spanish cuisine, meals like paella. My clients say I'm an excellent chef. So glad to hear. Anyhow, I'll catch you later. Bye. Analysis. 1. A nurse. Because nurse begins with N, and N is a consonant, an goes before nouns. 2. An excellent. Because excellent begins with a vowel, A, and vowels always take an. 3. Catch someone later. Just means to see that person in the near future. Definite article, the. 1. We use the definite article, the, when the subject or object of the sentence has already been introduced, or we assume the listener knows what we're talking about. So, tell me, how's the project that you're working on going? Oh, the project, it's going great, thanks. What about you? What are you doing these days? Well, I'm working in a software company. The company is based close to my home. I really enjoy the work. What about you? What's the project about? Well, the project is an English tutorial series, helping people with the main parts of grammar, but teaching them in a fun, dynamic, and effective manner. Wow, sounds amazing. What's the project called then? It's called English Grammar, a Friendly Approach. I really like the name. Anyway, we'll catch up again. Catch you later. Bye. Analysis. 1. We use the here because the person asking the question already knew about a project. 2. A software company. We use the indefinite article a because we're introducing software company, which is the object here and being used for the first time. 3. Company was already introduced, so now the definite article can be used. 4. It's already assumed that one must work, so we use the definite article the here. 5. English tutorial series is being introduced for the first time, so we use the indefinite article an. Also note, English starts with a vowel, e, so we must use an and not a. 0 article or no article. In English, we don't use an article when we're talking about things in a general sense. For example, habitual actions or general truths. Moreover, we generally omit articles when talking about people, days, months, places, streets, languages, academic subjects, sports, and meals. My name is Thomas, and I'm from New Zealand. I was born in July, and I speak 2 languages, English and Spanish. I'm currently living in Madrid, Spain. I really love the Spanish cuisine and culture. My favorite meal is paella, filled with chorizo. Tell me about yourself. I'm Sarah, and I'm from London, England. I speak English and Korean. My parents are originally from South Korea, and I grew up here in England. I love football and hockey, as well as cricket, even though some people say it's a little boring. Obviously, my favorite meal is chicken roast, very typical dish from the United Kingdom. Analysis. 1. Thomas is a name and doesn't require any article, thus 0 article. 2. Countries don't usually require an article beforehand. 3. Months don't usually require an article beforehand. 4. Languages don't usually require an article beforehand. 5. Famous meals, such as paella or chicken roast, or just meals in general, usually don't take an article. 6. Most sports don't take articles, just like most things. When a general sense is applied, no need for any articles. Section review. Articles. Indefinite articles, an, definite article, the, and 0 article or no article. Hey Dale, how's everything going? Fine, thanks. I'm just walking to campus. So, what are you studying these days? Well, I'm currently doing my undergrad. I'm studying literature and contemporary history. I really like it. What about you? I'm doing my master thesis right now. It's a lot of work, but I really like the work a lot. Tell me about your master thesis. I only just started. I really enjoy the research. How's the undergrad in literature and history? Do you like it? Yes, quite a lot. I have 2 professors per subject, and they know their subjects very extensively. The professors have been at the university and have been teaching for over 20 years, so they have a ton of experience. Yes, I understand. Teaching experience is so important for students. Chapter 2. 1. Verbs, active and passive. Active. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, future simple, and section review. Passive. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, future simple, and section review. Verbs, active and passive. In English, there are only 2 types of verbs that we can use, active and passive. Both verb forms, active and passive, are vitally important for speaking English fluently. There are 12 verb forms in English in total, both active and passive. But in this tutorial, we'll focus on 5 of the most common verbal tenses from both the active and the passive, so that you can really get a good idea. These tenses are the most widely used in English, as follows: present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, and future simple. Let's get started. Active verb forms. Active verb forms are active when the subject of the sentence is performing the action and not having the action done to them, i.e., I love to ride my bike. This sentence is in the present simple and it's active because the subject, I, is performing the action to ride my bike. Present simple. Rule. Verb, auxiliary verb or ordinary verb in present tense. 1. We use the present simple to talk about facts, things that are true in the moment. 2. The present simple is used for habits. 3. The present simple is used for things, actions that are fixed for the future. Things that will happen, especially when the thing or action has a fixed date and time. Hi Martin, what are you up to? Hey Daniel, very well thanks. I'm on vacation now. Very pleased though, because I needed the break. My daughter, Marta, is 11 years old and I drive her to school every day. It is hard work, you know. Sorry about that. Sounds like it is hard work. You're right. So Martin, what about you? What are your plans for the vacation? I'm going to Rome, Italy, and my flight leaves this Saturday at 9 a.m. I'm really excited because I rarely travel, you know. That sounds super fun indeed. Do you plan to visit any other cities in Italy? Yes. We also plan to visit Milan. The train leaves 2 days after our arrival on Monday at 12 o'clock. Milan is supposed to be a remarkable city. I hear it has many ancient buildings and it sits in the mountains. I'm very excited for you. Enjoy. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. Analysis. What are you up to? Is a more colloquial way of saying, how are you? 2. I'm on is the current state, hence the present simple. 3. Someone's age is a factual piece of information. 4. I drive her is a habitual action. 5. Flight leaves At 9. We can use the present simple to talk about the future when there's a fixed date. 6. I rarely travel, you know. This is a habitual action, which we know because we have the adverb rarely. Present continuous. Rule. Be plus verb plus ing. 1. There's more than one reason as to why we use the present continuous, but the main reason is we use the present continuous to talk about actions that are happening in the moment of speaking. We use the present continuous to talk about the near future, actions. 2. We use the present continuous to talk about the near future, actions that are developing or changing. 3. The present continuous is used for permanent or temporary situations. Hi Sally, what are you doing this Saturday? I'm taking a train to Manchester. I'm really excited as well. But what about you? Have you got any plans? Yes, my husband and I are traveling to Bath, southwest England. So anyway, how's the job in London treating you? Thanks for asking. It's going well. I'm really enjoying it. We're currently working on building and development projects. The work is getting to be more interesting every day. And you? How's the work at the insurance firm? Very well. I'm working in the claims department and I'm honestly finding the work meaningful, but not intensive. Nice to hear. Catch you later. See you next time. Bye. Analysis. 1. What are you doing this Saturday? This is the present continuous being used to talk about the future, the near future that is. 2. Present continuous used to talk about the near future. 3. To treat plus subject is a colloquial way of saying how something or someone is with you. 4. Here, the present continuous is being used to describe a situation that's developing over time. 5. I'm working in the describes a permanent situation. Remember, we can also use the present continuous to talk about permanent or temporary actions. Present perfect. Rule. Have has plus past participle. As a general rule, we use a present perfect to talk about an action that happened in the past at any point in time. And due to the nature of the action or situation in the past, its nature or experience still continues until the present moment. We can also use the present perfect to talk about something or a situation that changes over time. Mark and I have studied English extensively over the past 5 years. English has slowly but surely asserted itself as the universal lingua franca in the world we live in today. The importance of English has been its usage in world trade, international commerce, and international law. I am from France, and my husband, Mark, is from Spain. He has always been very interested in the language, even though he hasn't yet lived in an Anglo country. I myself have lived for 3 years in New York and have thoroughly enjoyed my time in the United States. Analysis. 1. Have studied. The nature of this continues until the present moment. 2. English has asserted itself, means the action started in the past and continues until the present moment due to its nature. 3. Has been. The experience of being interested starts in the past and continues until the present moment. 4. Hasn't lived. Meaning from the past until this moment, the person still hasn't lived in an Anglo country. Hence, the present perfect tense is used. Past simple. Rule. Verb auxiliary verb or ordinary verb in past tense. 1. We use the past simple to describe a completed action in the past. 2. The past simple is used to talk about past habits or customs that we had in the past and have now finished. 3. We use the past simple to talk about facts and generalizations in the past. Could still be true till today. 4. We use the past simple to talk about duration in the past if the action started and finished at a specific time in the past, i.e. 2 months, 1 year, etc. Welcome back, Louise. How was your year abroad in Canada? Hi, thanks. So glad to be back, honestly. I had a great time though. I met loads of young people. I traveled quite a bit throughout the country, and I passed the year with enough credits in the final exam. That sounds so positive. So what do you think of Canada? It's a very cold country. At times, the temperature exceeded negative 20 degrees in the winter. I worked a lot though. I studied at least 15 hours per week for my exams. I was very occupied with exams and university, you know. So please, tell me more about your exams and how they went. I studied hard for over 7 months, contemporary history and English literature. Both subjects provided me with a great deal of knowledge, and I learnt a lot. Moreover, I also developed good working habits. I'm really pleased you enjoyed yourself so much. Thanks. Analysis. 1. Had a is an action in the past that started and finished. 2. I met is an action that happened over a duration of time. 3. Loads of is a more colloquial way of saying many. 4. Past simple tense that describes a duration of time in the past. 5. The temperature exceeded is an action or situation that started in the past and finished in the past. 6. A duration in the past. 7. I developed describes a custom or habit in the past that had a development and then stopped in the past. Future simple. Rule. Will or shall plus infinitive. 1. The future simple is used to describe an action or situation in the future. 2. We use the future simple, will or shall, to express a promise or prediction. 3. The future simple is used to express a voluntary action, usually a spontaneous decision right at the moment as we're making it. At the office. Hi Mark, sorry to interrupt you, but how are you getting on with the updates? Good, thanks. Shall probably need a bit more time. Will I be able to hand them back to you on Tuesday? It shouldn't be a problem, but I'll talk to my boss just to make sure. Okay, great, thanks. You're welcome. Anyhow, what will you be up to this weekend? I think I'll take it easy this weekend. Perhaps we'll go to the city center and go see a movie or something, although I'm not sure. Sounds nice. It'll be good for you to just relax. No point going out every single weekend. That'll definitely get tiring. Yeah, for sure. Have a good one. Cheers. Analysis. 1. Getting on means how's the progress with? Will shall, used to make a prediction. Remember, will or shall are basically interchangeable, although will is more popular. 3. Will, Being used is a future simple tense, expressing the future. 4. I'll talk to my boss. Here, the will form is being used as an instant reaction or a spontaneous decision. We use the future simple form, will or shall, for instant and positive reactions. I'll is the contracted form of I will. 5. Be up to is a phrasal verb meaning what will someone be doing? Section review. Active verb forms. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, and future simple. So, how are we going to get to Barcelona from Madrid? I reckon the best way is by catching the Renfe, the high-speed rail system. Have you ever been on the Renfe then? Yes, I have taken it once before. It was a great experience. My friends, though, took it every single weekend back when they were studying. Did you enjoy taking the high-speed trains? Yes, I certainly did. I really love it. I find I get a good thrill because these trains travel at around 300 kilometers per hour, which is very impressive. Okay then, how will we go about with booking? Shall we book online? I think we'll need to book tickets online, yeah. Sounds like a great plan. I just saw the website and there's a train leaving on Saturday at 7 o'clock. How does that sound to you? That'll be perfect. Let's book it. Sure. Active verb forms. Dialogue 2. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, and future simple. How are you traveling to London this weekend? I'm taking my car. I'll take the car through the English Channel from Calais, France. Wow, that sounds exciting. Are you looking forward to it? Well, I guess so. Although I think I'll get a little scared being underwater for such a long time though. Yeah, I get that. It can be quite scary. Are you going with anyone? Any friends? Yeah, I'll go with my best friend, Jose. He's from Madrid, Spain. Has he ever traveled across the English Channel before? No, I don't think he has. Well, anyhow, you guys have a nice time. Thanks. Passive verb forms. There are several reasons as to why we use the passive voice in English. In the following notes, we're going to focus on the present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, and future simple. 5 are the most used tenses, both active and passive, in English. Generally, we use the passive voice in English when the subject of the sentence has the action done to it or performed on it. Besides the above, a main rule. These are the following rules for the correct passive usage in English. 1. The subject is unknown. We don't know who or what is the subject. 2. We use the passive to put emphasis on the subject. 3. We use the passive to talk about general truths. 4. We use the passive if we want to be unclear or vague about the subject. 5. We use the passive when the subject is irrelevant. We don't care who or what has caused the action to be. 6. We use the passive in a more formal or official atmosphere like a thesis or an important piece of writing, especially scientific related. Present simple, passive. Rule. Am, is, or are plus past participle. Worked or needed, for example. Madrid is a city visited by many tourists each year. It's said that Madrid is a fantastic city with loads of great museums and picturesque moments. Lots of fantastic things are said about Madrid, the capital of Spain. Madrid is a city with great history going back more than 1,000 years. And due to archaeological finds and history books, a lot of historical fact is known about this great capital city. Analysis 1. Madrid is a city visited. The passive construction here is plus visited, which is the past participle. The passive voice is being used here to put emphasis on the subject, Madrid. 2. It's said that is plus said, which is the past participle. The passive is used to be unclear about who is the person talking about Madrid. It's irrelevant who he, she is, so therefore the passive is used. 3. A lot of historical fact is known. Is plus known is the passive construction being used. Emphasis is being put on historical fact. Present continuous, passive. Rule. Am, is, or are, plus being, plus past participle. Told, received, etc. Today, I am being led on an excursion around London as part of a tour guide. Do you think I'll enjoy it? Yeah, absolutely. London is a beautiful city. It's being continuously visited by thousands of tourists each year. So that must mean it's a very popular place to see. I agree. How long, though, has it been inhabited for? Well, historians estimate that it has been inhabited for over 2,000 years. The Romans called it Londinium. It had a great port with lots of trade. Even to this very day, London is being inhabited and visited by millions of people. Analysis. I am being led is an action happening in the future, but the present continuous, passive, is used because it's an action in the near future. 2. It's being continuously visited. We can use the present continuous here in the passive to talk about permanent or temporary states. Present perfect, passive. Rule. Have, has, plus been, plus past participle, worked or needed, etc. Hi David, how's your studying going for the final thesis? Hey Gemma, it's going great thanks, although many hours have been spent on the thesis. It's been super tiresome, all the more. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that for a second. How many hours would you say have been put into your studies this year? At least 15 hours per week have been put into it. That's quite a lot. Yes, definitely. Many students have been told that if they want to get a good result in the final thesis, then it's necessary to put in the hours. I agree. Do you think any of the students have been overworked, though? I do think so, yes. Anyhow, let me know how it goes. Shall do. Thanks. Analysis. Although is a very popular conjunction to show a contrast between two clauses, usually one clause being negative and the other clause being positive. 2. Spent is the past participle of spend. 3. Put into is a phrasal verb literally meaning insert or exert. 4. Have been told is the passive construction and told is the past participle. 5. Though can be inserted or put into the ends of questions to add a subtle change in nuance. 6. I do think so. Here, do is used as a way of adding emphasis. Instead of saying, I think so, emphasis is added by adding the auxiliary in ordinary verb do. 7. Shall do is a form of ellipsis. It's a short way of saying, I shall let you know how it goes. Past simple, passive. Rule. Was or were plus past participle, i.e. found or heard. Hey James, how was your appointment yesterday? Hey, good thanks. Things were said and done, although I don't really know if much progress was made. So, what do you reckon then? Well, we really want to get this loan for our new house, but we're not sure if the amount of money that was proposed for the mortgage was enough. I'm sorry to hear that. So, when will you know for certain? He said he'd be back to me today, so I'll hope for the best. Okay, best of luck. Thanks. Analysis. 1. Things were said and done. We don't know exactly what happened, so in this case, it's all pretty vague. That's why the passive was used. 2. Although is a conjunction. We use although to show a contrast between a negative and a positive clause. 3. Progress was made. The passive is used to emphasize the subject, progress. 4. Reckon. An informal, chiefly British way to say think. What do you think? 5. Get back. A phrasal verb meaning return. Future simple, passive. Rule. Will or shall plus be plus past participle, i.e. greeted, sung, spoken, etc. Next week, I'll be set to leave for New York for a week. I'm so excited. I bet you are. So what shall be scheduled for your trip? And how long are you going for? Well, a lot of things will be scheduled for our trip, such as visiting the various neighborhoods and, of course, Manhattan as well. Sounds like you'll be met with loads of excitement. Yes, well, I hope everything goes well. Have a great trip. Cheers. Analysis. 1. To be set simply means that you're ready to do something. 2. To bet is an informal way of agreeing or disagreeing. 3. Shall is interchangeable with will. 4. Mint. This is a noun / nominal suffix that is an ending part to make nouns. Other such suffixes include amazement, enjoyment, betterment, etc. 5. Cheers, mainly British and Australian, used to mean thanks. Section review. Passive verb forms. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect, past simple, and future simple. A lot is known about language acquisition, that is, learning a new language. In my opinion, it's really important to learn the mechanics of a language, such as all the grammar and phonetics, so that you can build a good base before learning how to speak. What do you reckon? You're right. A lot of research has been done on the topic and is still being done by many universities today. I think, though, that it has always been important to learn a new language via speaking, although the person's age is an important factor. Yes, interesting. I'll say though, research was done at a university in New York State, and it's been noted that children learn best without grammar, and a new language is easily learned just by speaking to a native speaker. I agree with this research, and I find it's all very interesting. A lot more research will be done in the future, and we shall know what exactly the best learning methods for effective language acquisition are. Chapter 3. 1. Modal auxiliaries. Can, could, may, might, will, shall, must, would, ought to, should, need to, and dare to. 2. Section review. Modal auxiliary verbs. Can, could, may, might, will, shall, must, would, ought to, should, need to, and dare to. We use modal auxiliary verbs as helping verbs. These modals don't need the main auxiliary verb do to negate. They negate themselves with the adverb not. Although some of the modal auxiliaries are similar, that's why some of them are grouped together, each modal verb has its own meaning or expression. Modal auxiliary verbs are always followed by an ordinary verb, not another modal or main auxiliary verb, be, have, and do. Moreover, we don't use to with modal auxiliaries, apart from need to, dare to, and ought to. Can and could. Both these modal auxiliaries are very similar with only a couple of slight differences. Could also being a little more formal and polite. 1. Can and could are used to talk about ability. 2. We use could to talk about the past when something happened only on one occasion. 3. We use can and could to express probability and possibility. 4. We use can and could for interpersonal uses, such as asking questions, permission, etc. Hi there. How can I help you? Hi. Could you please tell me where I can find the laptop department? Yes, of course. Just follow me, sir. Okay. So, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a good laptop that can meet my needs. Ideally, it could last the next 3 years. Okay, let's see if there's one here with a good hard drive. What do you use your computer for? Well, when I was younger, I could get by with limited memory, but now I need something with much more memory. I'll see if I can find you something. Thanks. Analysis. 1. Can, used for interpersonal use. 2. Could, interpersonal use with more formality. 3. Can, here referring to an ability. 4. Could, referring to something he, she did on only one occasion. 5. Get by, phrasal verb meaning manage or cope. May and might. 1. Generally, we use may and might to ask for permission, although it's considered extremely polite. Can and could express less politeness and formality. 2. We use may to send out our hopes, wishes, and desires. 3. May and might are used to criticize, request, and make suggestions. 4. We use may and might to express possibility or chance. So Richard, do you think my boss may lend me his car this weekend? He might lend it to you, although I'm really not sure if he will, to be honest. Should I just take it without his permission? You might want to consider the consequences of that. It may not be the best idea you've had today. Yeah, you're right. If you do take his car without asking though, may God be with you. Gee, thanks. Sarcastically. Analysis. 1. May. Used to talk about permission. 2. Might. Being used to express a suggestion or a criticism. 3. May. Expressing a desire or hope. 4. G. This word is an interjection. Interjections are words like yeah, nah, grr that don't have any grammatical meaning, but we use them in speech to fill in the gaps. Will and shall. 1. We use will and shall to make predictions, promises, and requests. 2. Will and shall are used as a simple future tense in English to talk about the future. 3. We use will and shall in instant or immediate reactions when we want to express willingness positively. We use both will and shall interchangeably, but will is more popular and mainstream among most speakers. Phone conversation. Phone ringing. Hello, who am I speaking with, please? Hi, this is Patrick. How's things going, Bill? Oh, hi Patrick, great, thanks. What's up? I was just wondering if you'll come with us to visit London this weekend. Well, how long do you think the drive shall be then? It'll take us 2 hours to get there from Eastbourne, no longer. Look, I'm not sure about whether I'd be interested. I'll let you know by tonight, okay? Not a problem at all. I'll wait for your call. Have a good day. Thanks. You too. I'll probably see you tomorrow then. I hope so. It'll be fun. Bye. Analysis. 1. What's up? Contracted form of what is up. This is a colloquial way to ask how someone is. 2. You'll. Contracted form of you will. A request is being made. 3. Shall. A prediction is being made. 4. I'd is the contracted form of I would. It can also mean I had. 5. By. This preposition takes the sense of no later than in this particular case. 6. I'll. Contracted form of I will. This is an instant or immediate action being made in the moment of speaking. That's why will is used. We use will or shall to make willing decisions in the moment. 1. Must is used to express obligation. 2. We use must to express what we believe to be certainty. 3. Must is used to give strong advice, suggestions, or recommendations. What language do you think is the most popular second language for language learners in general? Well, it must be English, because that's the main language used for finance in companies and for people to communicate with. Yes, well, English is very popular. But what about the second most popular language? Well, I'm from Holland, and in my school system, every student must learn English. And the second most popular language was generally French or Spanish. Yes, Spanish is one of my favorite languages. It's very beautiful, especially speakers from Colombia. They must love their language so much. I have no doubt about that. Analysis. 1. Must. Being used to express strong certainty. 2. Must. In this context, must implies obligation. 3. No doubt is a very typical expression in English. Would. 1. Would is used to express desire, intent, or a wish. 2. Would is used to make conditionals in English. There are 4 conditionals: 0, 1, 2, 3. We'll list the conditional rules below. Remember, when you use the conditionals, you can reverse the order of the 2 clauses. Examples below. 1. 0 conditional. Used to express facts or real situations. If plus present simple plus present simple. If you boil water, it reaches 100 degrees Celsius. If I light a match, it burns. If you disturb animals, they get angry. First conditional. Used to present facts or real situations in the present or future. If plus present simple plus will plus infinitive. If he doesn't buy me a present for my birthday, I'll get annoyed. I won't go to the city center if my big brother doesn't join me. They'll learn a new language if they get a new teacher. 3. Second conditional. Used for unrealistic or unlikely situations or actions in the past or future. If plus past simple plus would plus infinitive. If you were happier, you'd live better, you know. Jeremy would spend more time with his girlfriend if he didn't work so much. They would earn much more money if they knew how to invest properly. 4. Third conditional. Used for hypothetical or imaginary situations or actions in the present, past, and future. If plus past perfect plus would plus have plus past participle. If Jose had been born in Belgium, he'd have spoken Flemish, French, or German. My friend would have gone to university if she had been able to afford the high fees. It's way too expensive in her country. If Carl had worked more, he'd have saved a lot more money. Analysis. 1. If you boil water, it reaches. If plus present simple plus present simple. 0 conditional here, used to express a fact. 2. Get angry. Get plus adjective means to become. In the following course, we'll elaborate extensively on the word get. 3. The rule can work both ways. That is, we can change the order of the clauses. 4. You'd. This is the contracted form of you would. 5. Reverse order with the clauses. The clauses can be in reverse order. 6. He'd. Contracted form of he would. Ought to. 1. Ought to is used in the present, future, and past. We use ought to express correctness. 2. Ought to is used for advice or recommendations. 3. We use ought to express what we would like to see happen. You know what I ought to do, Bill? What? I ought to buy myself a motorbike. They just look so cool, and I think I'd be able to flirt with more women if I had a motorbike. You wish. I don't think most women would be interested in you just because you have a motorbike. Well, they ought not to be anyway. Well, I think they ought to be. I mean, look how cool motorbikes are. Yeah, they're also very dangerous, you know, especially in a big city. My advice is you ought not to buy one. I think they're too dangerous. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. Analysis. 1. Ought not can be contracted as oughtn't. 2. Ought not to be is used to express what he would like to see happen. 3. Ought not to buy one. Strong advice is offered here. Should. We use should to express obligation. Obligation of a lesser degree than must or need to. 2. Should is used to express duty. 3. We use should to deduct, that is, when something is more probable. What's your opinion on sugar consumption, Jenny? I think sugar is the biggest problem and threat to most people's lives. People really shouldn't consume sugar, or at least not the amount of sugar that most people normally consume. So you're quite against the consumption of sugar then? Yes, it seems every single product that we consume is loaded with sugar these days. We should be more conscious of what we're consuming, because parents should not allow their children to eat so much of it. Yes, I agree. It should be the parents' job to educate their children and take more care with what they're eating. Agreed. Analysis. Lives. The plural of life. Live is the verb. 2. Shouldn't. Being used to express obligation, but not of a high degree. 3. Loaded. Means full or to the limit. 4. Should. Used to express obligation, but not of a high degree. 5. Here, should is used to express a duty. Need to. 1. Need to is both a modal auxiliary verb and an ordinary verb. 2. We use need to express necessity or requirements, things or people that we need. In the dialogue below, both the auxiliary form and the ordinary form will be used. Which subjects do you think are the most important to get a job in this market? Well, the job market is really tough out there for millennials. In my opinion, though, young students need to be applying themselves regardless of the field of study. Students needn't all study the sciences because that's not what everyone likes. Interesting, because I honestly think most science institutions have all the applicants they need for now. That's right. There doesn't appear to be a lot on offer, so it really just comes down to working hard. I agree. One needs to work hard. It doesn't matter what they study. Hard workers will always find work. Analysis. 1. Needn't is used to express the necessity of the students. 2. Institutions have all the applicants they need. The main auxiliary verb in the sentence is have, and need doesn't function as a modal auxiliary verb, but an ordinary verb instead. 3. One needs. One is used to denote third person in English and takes a very general, indirect sense, i.e., one needs to work hard. Dare to. 1. Dare to is a modal auxiliary verb and an ordinary verb. 2. We use dare to encourage someone to be courageous, either good or bad. Hey Jake, how are you going today? I'm not too bad, thanks. What time do you have to be back home today? Well, my mum said I need to be back by 4 o'clock at the latest. I dare you to ride your bicycle without a helmet. You shouldn't dare people to do things. My mum said it's not very nice. I dare you to. Okay, but it's not safe to ride a bicycle without a helmet, you know. Analysis. 1. By. This preposition has more than one meaning, but in this particular case, it means no later than. 2. You shouldn't dare. The modal auxiliary verb in this sentence is should, and dare is being used as an ordinary verb here. Section review. Modal auxiliary verbs. Can, could, may, might, will, shall, must, would, ought to, should, need to, and dare to. You know what I ought to do, Bill? What? I need to learn a second language. Do you honestly think that you could? I mean, there's a lot of hard work and motivation needed to learn a second language. Well, I've been thinking about it for a while now, and I should be able to learn a new language if I stay focused and stay motivated. I dare you to learn Chinese. Whoa, Chinese? Are you kidding me? I'll never learn it. I think it may be a little too hard for me. You could at least give it a go. Well, to be honest, I would learn Chinese if I had a friend from China. That would motivate me more. Maybe you would have learned Chinese if you had been born in China. That's the only reason I can see you learning Chinese. So anyway, what language shall you learn then? I would like to learn Spanish. Spanish? Yes, Spanish. I love the Spanish people, and I've always dreamt of going to South America and Spain. How much money must you spend to learn Spanish then? I won't spend a lot, probably around 300 for the semester. That doesn't sound too bad. I'll give it a shot. I should be able to learn fast if I stay motivated. Chapter 4. 1. Adjectives. Demonstrative, interrogative, possessive, and qualifying adjectives. 2. Section review. 3. Adverbs. Frequency, place, time, manner, degree, sentence, relative, and interrogative adverbs. 4. Section review. 5. Nouns. Countable, uncountable, proper, common, concrete, abstract, collective, and compound nouns. 6. Section review. Adjectives. Adjectives are describing words. Adjectives describe or modify nouns. Adjectives can limit, qualify, or specify the nouns that they modify or describe. Demonstrative adjectives. Demonstrative adjectives are this, these, that, and those. We use demonstrative adjectives to signal or point out to things or people. We must be careful whether we use singular or plural nouns, because this and that modify singular nouns, people or things, while these and those modify plural nouns. That and those usually imply that something or someone is further away from the speaker than this and these. Hey Thomas, how's that Spanish course coming along? It's going great. This is the first time I've tried learning a language using online tutorials. So what do you think of these tutorials then? Effective? Worth your time? Well, remember that Spanish professor we had in university? Her name was Elena? Yes, I faintly remember her. Well, it was her who recommended me to start taking a Spanish course online, so I can keep up my level. How is the course structured? Well, can you see these animations and text on the screen? Yes, it's just that, text with narration and some animations to go with it. Oh, I like those ones. They look super cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And you learn heaps as well. I'm going to buy this course for myself. Analysis. 1. How's that Spanish course? That is used because the person is talking about the Spanish course as being something distant. 2. Coming along. Phrasal verb that means how the progress of something or someone is going. 3. These tutorials then. These is used because tutorials is plural here, and the tutorials are now closer in context. That's why it's not those tutorials. 4. Worth your time. This is short for, are the tutorials worth your time? This is a form of ellipsis where we can omit certain words in English that are already assumed in order to make the sentence shorter. 5. Remember that Spanish teacher? That is used because the Spanish teacher is seen as someone distant from the past. We can't use this in this context. 6. Keep up. A phrasal verb meaning maintain, usually a level or a skill set. 7. These animations. The animations are right on the screen, so we can use the demonstrative adjective these to show something that is plural and close to the speakers. 8. Heaps means a lot. 9. Myself. A reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Interrogative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives are whose, what, which, where, why, and how. Interrogative adjectives are used for interrogating, that is, asking a question about someone or something. 1. Whose indicates possession. 2. What is a general question word for general information relating to anything. 3. Which, used for specifying. 4. Where, indicates direction. 5. Why, general question word that seeks an explanation to something. 6. How, indicates manner as to how something was done. What are you up to, Maria? I'm writing an email to someone. Who are you writing to? Is it someone special? A secret lover? Nope. None of those crazy ideas. I'm writing an email to a company called English Reservoir over some doubts I'm having with an English learning course that I bought from them a few days ago. What is English Reservoir? Oh, English Reservoir is the company I use to learn English with. Wow, sounds so exciting. How do you like the course? I love it. Their courses are so wonderful. They make it fun to learn English grammar. How do they do that? Their courses teach English grammar, but with fun animated tutorials that you can either stream online or download them onto your computer. So why do you like them so much then? Their courses are so interactive, fun, and they teach English grammar with proper context and explanations. It's basically the opposite of a boring grammar book. I love how it sounds. Where did you discover them anyway? A friend recommended them to me, and now I follow their Facebook page also. Awesome, I'll check them out. Analysis. 1. Be up to. What someone or something is doing. Remember, be needs to be conjugated. 2. Nope. Is a more informal way of saying no. A more informal way to negate in English. 3. An email to English reservoir over. Over is very similar to about and indicates the subject or thing. 4. Oh. This word is an interjection. Interjections don't really have any meaning. It's a way to express oneself, sort of like a reaction. 5. Wow. This is another interjection. The word itself has no real meaning, only in this case to express excitement. 6. How. An interrogative adjective indicating manner as to how something was done. 7. Either. This word lets you choose between two options. I'll have either the Apple phone or the Android phone. Two options with either. 8. Anyway. This is an adverb that native English speakers use very frequently. In the example above, it just means in any case. 9. Awesome. Something or someone can be awesome. A very popular word among most people. 10. Check out. Phrasal verb meaning examine. This phrasal verb can also be separated with the object going in between check and the preposition out. Possessive adjectives. We use possessive adjectives to show possession of something or someone. Possessive adjectives are my, your, his, her, its, our, your, plural, and their. It's not important if the thing or person being possessed is singular or plural. The possessive adjective always stays the same, i.e., my car's, my car. Car can be singular or plural, yet the possessive adjective keeps its normal form. Morning, Jake. Is that your car? Yep, it sure is. God, she's a beauty. It looks like an electric one. Yes, it is. It's the new Tesla model, fully electric. I wish it were my car. Doesn't your nephew own a Tesla? Well, I'm not sure if it's his Tesla, because I only saw him in the passenger seat. What do you think of electric cars anyway? They are very expensive cars, and their auto driving isn't the most trustworthy, but in general they're fantastic for the environment. I agree. Your one, though, is the most expensive model. Do you know if they sell cheaper ones? Yes, I'm pretty sure they do, because our neighbor, Phil, his car, which is a Tesla, is the model below our one. So that must mean that there are other models below and less expensive. And its battery lasts a long time also. I'll look into it then. Great chatting to you. Catch you later. See you. Analysis. 1. Yep. An informal way to say yes. 2. God. Even though this is a religious word, it is used frequently as an interjection. 3. Something is a beauty. This is an expression in English to signal that something is beautiful. 4. I wish it were. Even though it's third person, the plural form is used because we're talking hypothetically, something that isn't true. 5. His Tesla. His is the possessive adjective, and Tesla is the thing being possessed. 6. Their refers to the Tesla cars. That's why it's in plural and not singular, his or her. 7. Your one. One is a pronoun that can refer to anything singular. In this case, it refers to the Tesla car. 8. Our one. One is a singular pronoun referring to the Tesla, and our is used to show that it's third person plural. 9. Its battery. The thing being possessed is the battery. It's a thing, so we need to use the possessive adjective, its. 10. Look into. A phrasal verb meaning to examine or look further. 11. Catch. Someone, i.e. him, you, her, later, is a phrasal verb meaning to see someone at another time. Qualifying adjectives. Qualifying adjectives are the most common type of adjectives in English. Qualifying adjectives are used to describe living things or beings. Qualifying adjectives are non-countable but are gradable, which means they can be graded with comparatives, more than, as, adjective as, or superlatives, the most, etc. Qualifying adjectives form the largest list of adjectives. What a beautiful day! Normally, England has such bad weather during wintertime, but today has been an exceptional day. Wouldn't you agree, David? Yes, but on Sunday last week, the weather was better than today, although it wasn't as sunny as today, I have to admit. Yes, I agree. You should have seen it in January. It was wetter than anything I have ever seen. What's the worst weather you've seen in the UK? Well, it really depends on where you are in the UK, because there are sunnier and nicer parts. For example, southern England tends to have the best weather, if you don't mind me saying so. That's interesting. I would also say, though, that the weather in northern England is as bad as the weather in other countries in northern Europe, such as Denmark or Norway. It really is cold in those countries. I much prefer the hotter temperatures in southern Europe. Countries like Spain, Portugal, or Italy are just so much sunnier and friendlier also. Analysis. 1. Beautiful is the qualifying adjective, and the noun it is modifying is day. All adjectives modify or describe nouns. 2. Bad is the qualifying adjective. Its comparative form is worse, which is irregular, and its superlative form is the best, which is also irregular. Superlatives usually take the article the. 3. Better is the irregular and positive comparative form of good. 4. As sunny as. A construction widely used with qualifying adjectives to equalize two things or people in English is as plus adjective plus as. 5. Wetter. Qualifying adjective and comparative form of wet. 6. The worst is the irregular and superlative form for the qualifying adjective good. Note that the comparatives and superlative forms of qualifying adjectives are also adjectives. 7. Nicer. Comparative form of the qualifying adjective nice. 8. Southern is a qualifying adjective that is modifying the noun England. 9. As bad as. The comparative or equalizer construction to equalize two things or people. In this case, it's referring to the weather in England and Northern Europe. 10. Those countries. Take note of the demonstrative adjectives from the lesson before. This, these, that, and those. Those is used because the speaker is referring to countries, which is plural, and they are far away. Hence, those. 11. Hotter is the qualifying adjective in the comparative form. Without a comparative, it's simply hot, and the superlative form is the hottest. 12. Spain, Portugal, and Italy are all places and thus proper nouns, so they are therefore in capital letters. 13. Sunnier and friendlier are the comparative forms of the qualifying adjectives sunny and friendly. The Y changes to an IER to form the comparative form. The superlative forms of the adjectives are the sunniest and the friendliest. Section review. Adjectives. Demonstrative, interrogative, possessive, and qualifying adjectives. Hi, Mater. How are you today? Hi, I'm good. Never been better. I'm working on this project for the university. Oh, it sounds cool. What's it about then? Well, do you know about those new smartphones that they are selling in stores? Yes, I'm pretty sure. Do you mean those really expensive ones? Yes, those ones. I'm studying the implications that they have on society and their technology. Can you elaborate? Sure. These smartphones, I think they're really useful and innovative, but on the downside, they really distract you. How so? Well, I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he didn't even look at me. He was too concentrated with his smartphone. What do you mean by he was too concentrated with his smartphone? While I was talking to him, he didn't even look at me. His eyes were basically glued to his screen. Our technology is important, but we need to remember not to lose our social skills either. I agree. I know this person from work, a colleague of mine, who never pays attention to anyone because she's so addicted to her phone. I think these new smartphones are amazing, but on the other hand, we lose sight of what's important. How can we find a solution to these problems then? Well, my main concern is maintaining a minimum level of human interaction when we're talking to others while they're on their phones. Things like that are vital so that we don't lose our social skills. Yeah, people these days are not as social as they used to be. Moreover, it's just common sense because it's really not the best thing to do. That is, not give the kind person you're talking to your full attention. Adverbs. Adverbs are words that modify or describe adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. There are 8 different categories of adverbs in English, which are adverbs of frequency, place, time, manner, degree, sentence, relative, and interrogative adverbs. Adverbs of frequency. We use adverbs of frequency to express how frequently we, or objects, do something. The adverb always goes after the subject and before the ordinary verb. When using auxiliary or modal auxiliary verbs, be, do, can, may, should, etc., the adverb goes after the auxiliary verb, not before it. Do you often go cycling? Yes, I always go cycling. I love cycling. And it's scientifically proven to be beneficial to your personal well-being and fitness. Interesting. I don't normally cycle, but my wife, Suzanne, frequently takes her bike to the mountains to go cycling. She never wears a helmet though, which I think is very dangerous. Yeah, that's a pity. She should really wear a helmet because it's very unsafe, especially when cars are constantly passing you. I agree. I guess for some people, wearing a helmet is just a pain. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Okay, bye. Analysis 1. Do you often go? The adverb is often, so it goes after the auxiliary verb do and before the ordinary verb go. 2. I always go. Go is an ordinary verb, so the adverb of frequency always goes before it. 3. I don't normally cycle. Normally is the adverb of frequency, so it goes after the auxiliary verb do and before the ordinary verb cycle. 4. The comma is used before the conjunction but to represent the pause when speaking. Frequently, this adverb goes before the ordinary verb takes. 6. The negative prefix un makes the negative adjective safe negative. 7. Are constantly passing. The adverb of frequency, constantly, goes before the ordinary verb passing and after the auxiliary verb are from be. 8. To catch someone later simply means to see someone at another time. Adverbs of place. Adverbs of place tell us where an action has happened. There are many adverbs of place, and they can also function as prepositions. Remember, adverbs modify adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. Hey, have you seen my brother, Jacob? Yes, I think he's below in the basement. Okay, thanks. I'll go take a look now. Hello, Jacob. Hi, I'm here. Can you see me? Oh, yes. Now I can see you. I just wanted to see if you were indoors. Don't worry, I haven't gone far. What's the problem? Well, now that I see you're indoors, would you be able to come upstairs and help me for a second? Sure, no problem. Thanks, don't worry. Afterwards, you can go back downstairs. Catch you later. Analysis 1. He's below. The adverb below modifies the verb to express where he is. 2. I'll is the contracted form of the modal auxiliary verb will. Remember, we use will when we want to express an immediate positive reaction, something that you're going to do in the moment of speaking. 3. Hair is an adverb of place to express where the speaker is. 4. I just wanted. We use just in English as a way of being polite or to justify our actions. 5. Indoors is an adverb of place to show where the speaker is. 6. Downstairs. Adverb of place to express where the speaker is. Adverbs of time. Adverbs of time tell us when something happens. Adverbs of time are a reference to time. We usually insert adverbs of time at the end or before the sentence. There are many adverbs of time. Hey, Susanna, are you going out tonight? I don't think so. I'm still hungover from last night. What about tomorrow or Saturday? Okay, it's definitely possible. I'm sorry you're so hungover. You really shouldn't party so hard. I know. I'm a sucker for the partying. I wish I could be more responsible. It's also very expensive. The other night, I spent over $80. $80? On what exactly? I had to catch a taxi, drink, everything. Goodness, I haven't partied as hard as you since I was 25. I guess you're just getting too old for it these days then, aren't you? I guess I am. I'll catch you later. Bye. Analysis. Tonight. An adverb of time. 2. Hungover. An adjective meaning still a little drunk or worn out from the previous night's drinking. 3. Tomorrow. An adverb of time. 4. Saturday. An adverb of time. Days of the week are always capitalized in English. Monday, Tuesday, etc. 5. To be a sucker. A colloquial way of saying that someone always ends up in the same situation, good or bad. 6. For the partying. Partying functions as a noun or nominal object because it's the object in the sentence. We can use gerund forms, verb plus ing, as nouns, either as subjects or objects in English. 7. Catch a taxi. This is the general expression we use when catching a taxi. 8. As hard as. The construction as plus adjective plus as is a comparative used in English to make two things equal, i.e., Sarah is as nice as me. 9. I guess you're, aren't you? This is a construction in English called a question tag. 10. I'll catch you later. Remember, we use the future simple, will, for instant, immediate, and positive reactions, i.e., things that we're going to do right in the moment. Adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner contain the largest list of adverbs in English. Adverbs of manner tell us how something happened. Many adverbs of manner can be constructed by adding ly to the corresponding adjective, although there may be some variations in the exact spelling. Yesterday, I was happily going about my work when a colleague of mine had clearly interrupted me by speaking loudly on his phone. I honestly find this type of behavior quite rude. I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Katie. Perhaps next time you could politely ask your colleague to speak a little more quietly. Surely there are other people in the office that get annoyed by it also. There certainly is. And it's hardly appropriate to speak so loudly on the phone, and especially in the office. I've already talked to a couple of the girls next to me, and they're also regularly getting annoyed at the excessive noise. I think you're going to have to talk with him and just ask him to politely be a little quieter when speaking on the phone. I'll be sure to ask him, so we'll see what happens. Good luck. Thanks. Analysis. 1. Yesterday. An adverb of time. Yesterday is an expression of time. Expressions of time can either go at the beginning of the sentence or at the end, depending on where you want to put the emphasis. At the beginning is more emphatic. 2. Happily. An adverb of manner. The adjective is happy, so the y changes to ily to form the adverb of manner. 3. Mine. A possessive pronoun. That house is mine. My phone is mine. 4. Clearly. An adverb of manner. The adjective is clear. The adverb of manner is formed by just adding ly to the infinitive. 5. Loudly. An adverb of manner. The adjective is loud. The adverb of manner is formed by adding ly to the infinitive. 6. Honestly is an adverb of manner. The adjective is honest. ly is added to the infinitive to form the adverb of manner. 7. Terribly is the adverb of manner. The adjective is terrible. ly is added after the be to form the adverb of manner. Politely is the adverb of manner. It tells us how the action occurred. 9. Quietly is the adverb of manner. Remember, adverbs modify adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. So quietly is modifying the verb speak, which is the verb. 10. Hardly, an adverb of manner. This is what we call in English a false friend, because even though the adjective is hard, hardly does not come from hard. They are completely different and have no relation with each other. 11. Loudly, an adverb of manner. The adjective is loud. Add ly to form the adverb of manner, which tells us how the action happened. 12. Regularly, an adverb of manner. 13. Politely. ly is added to the adjective polite to form the adverb of manner politely. 14. Quieter is the comparative form of the adjective quiet. The superlative form is the quietest. Adverbs of degree. Adverbs of degree grade adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. That is, they tell us to what extent something happens. There are many, many adverbs of degree. The list is abundant. So, Lisa, what do you think should be the minimum age before obtaining a driver license? Well, I think it should be 21. In my country, New Zealand, the age in which one can receive a driver's license is too young in my opinion. What age is it in New Zealand? The age is 16, which is extremely young. You're completely right. 16 is incredibly young. Teenagers at that age are barely even adults, and it's hardly right for them to be driving a car at that very young age. I fully agree. I'm somewhat opposed to this very young age, and I think the government really needs to raise the age to a minimum of 21 years old. Analysis. 1. Before obtaining. Remember, when a preposition is followed by a verb, the verb always takes the gerund, verb plus ing. The preposition here being before, and the gerund being obtaining, i.e., I'm interested in studying. She's all for living the life. The prepositions in and for are followed by the gerund versions studying and living. 2. 21. Numbers in English from 21 until 91 need a hyphen, i.e., 33, 89, 64, 78, etc. 3. 1 is a pronoun which is used to speak about people in a general sense, i.e., one should drive safely. 4. Driver's license. Notice the possessive here, S, after driver. That's because license is being possessed by driver. Therefore, driver must have the possessive S, i.e., Sam's house, my brother's phone. House and phone are being possessed by Sam and brother, hence the possessive. 5. To. Adverb of degree. To is always an adverb. 6. Extremely is an adverb of degree. The adjective is extreme, so you just add ly to make the adverb. 7. Completely. Adverb of degree. Remember, adverbs modify adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. Completely, in this case, is modifying the adjective right. 8. Incredibly is an adverb of degree. ly is added to the adjective incredible to form the adverb, also omitting the e on the infinitive. 9. Barely is an adverb of degree. 10. Somewhat is an adverb of degree, meaning to a moderate extent. 11. Very, adverb of degree. 12. 21 years old. In English, it's common to insert years old afterwards when you're talking about your age, i.e., I am 50 years old. Jeremy is 33 years old. Adverbs of sentence. Adverbs of sentence are adverbs that modify entire sentences. Adverbs of sentence can also function as adverbs of degree, manner, or other adverbs. When an adverb of sentence is used, the adverb usually goes at the beginning of the sentence, which means more emphasis is put on the adverb itself, while also modifying the whole sentence. Thankfully, we were able to get a table last night. The restaurant had us waiting for over 35 minutes. I know, I'm not a fan of waiting outside restaurants. Curiously, the restaurant didn't appear to be that full. Maybe they were just low on staff. Indeed, I noticed that as well. Frankly, the food was exceptionally good. That's probably the reason as to why they're so popular. Yes, they've also had a reputation for their extraordinary quality. Interestingly, most restaurants these days are becoming more popular. Perhaps it's because people just don't have time to cook. Perhaps you're right, although it can get quite costly, you know, frequently going out to restaurants. Analysis. 1. Thankfully. Adverb of sentence. Thankfully is modifying the whole sentence. We were able to get a table last night. It's important to place a comma after the adverb of sentence. 2. Had us waiting. The verb have is used to talk about experience and actions. 3. Of waiting. Remember, prepositions are always followed by the gerund, verb plus ing. The preposition of is followed by the gerund, waiting. 4. Curiously. Adverb of sentence. This adverb is modifying the whole sentence. 5. Indeed. Adverb of sentence. 6. Frankly. Adverb of sentence, meaning honestly or sincerely. 7. Exceptionally. Adverb of degree that's modifying the adjective good. 8. As to. An important prepositional phrase in English, meaning with respect to or regarding, i.e., I'm meaning as to how David got lost yesterday in the car park. 9. There. Don't forget to pronounce the contractions. And also remember, the verb's being contracted. In this case, it is they are. 10. Interestingly. Adverb of sentence. The adjective is interesting, so ly is added to the adjective to form the adverb. 11. These days. Remember, demonstrative adjectives. This, these, that, and those. Days is plural, and the speaker is referring to days with close proximity. Therefore, these is used rather than those. Relative adverbs. We use relative adverbs as joiners or connectors to connect phrases together. The main relative adverbs in English are when, where, and why. Each relative adverb has its own purpose or meaning. When refers to time. Where refers to a place or destination. Why refers to the reason as to why something has happened. Which university did you go to, Lisa? Well, it was a long time ago when I was at university. Come on, let's hear it. Okay, well, I was lucky I had the opportunity to go to an Ivy League university called Brown University, where I studied mathematics. Mathematics? I didn't know you studied math. Yes, well, I don't know exactly why I chose math. I guess when I was younger, I always liked the subject and just decided it was the sciences where I longed to go. Math is not an easy subject, so it should have been hard to finish the degree, shouldn't it? Yes, it took me 5 years to complete the degree. Although, if you have a genuine interest when you're young, it's not hard to be good at your subject matter. Still though, mathematics is not known to be easy. Analysis. 1. When. Relative adverb that refers to time. In this particular case, the relative adverb when is referring to the time when Lisa was at university. 2. Brown University. Both Brown and University are capitalized because they form part of the proper noun, Brown University. When university is alone, it isn't capitalized. 3. Where. Relative adverb that refers to place or destination. In this case, the place being Brown University. 4. Why. Relative adverb that refers to reason. The reason as to why something happened. The phrase being, I don't know exactly. 5. When. Relative adverb that refers to time. In this case, the time being when I was younger. 6. The sciences. In general, there's 2 main categories of study at university: the sciences and the humanities. 7. To long. Verb. Means to have a strong desire or craving for something or someone. 8. It should. Shouldn't it? Example of a question tag. Remember, positive to negative and vice versa. 9. Have a genuine interest. Remember, the auxiliary verb to have is used to show possession. In this case, an interest is what is being possessed. Interrogative adverbs. Interrogative adverbs in English are why, where, when, and how. We use interrogative adverbs to ask questions. When we use interrogative adverbs to ask a question, we must apply the following rule. Interrogative adverb plus auxiliary or modal auxiliary verb plus subject, i.e., when do you start work? When plus do plus you. Good morning, Steve. How was your weekend? Morning, Suzanne. It was great, thanks. I had a nice weekend outside of the UK. Ah, fantastic. Where did you go then? Well, I went with my friend to Belgium via the English Channel. It was very interesting because it's the first time we have been to Belgium. So, why did you guys decide to go to Belgium? We heard that several cities in the northern region of Flanders are particularly beautiful. Cities such as Ghent, Bruges, Liège, and also Brussels. How did you manage to cover all those cities in just 2 days? We just had day trips, going to 2 cities per day and staying the night in the last city we had visited. It was good fun. I bet it was. Where will you go next time? Well, I'd like to go to northern France, but the drive is too far, so I'll have to wait till my vacations. When will I have vacations? I just don't know. Well, good luck. Thanks. Analysis. 1. Steve is a name of a person and thus a proper noun. Proper nouns are always capitalized. 2. How. Interrogative adverb that is used to talk about the manner, degree, time, amount, or quantity in which something is done. In this case, it refers to the weekend. 3. Where. Interrogative adverb that refers to place or destination. In this case, the speaker was wanting to know the destination of where he went. 4. Belgium is a country and therefore a proper noun. Remember to always capitalize proper nouns. 5. Why. Interrogative adverb that we use to acquire a reason for something. 6. You guys. In English, the second person singular and the second person plural are both formed with the subject and object pronoun you. Therefore, we usually insert guys after you to distinguish between singular and plural. For example, when will you guys buy the tickets? Guys is referring to more than one person. 7. Flanders is in the northern province of Belgium and therefore a place. Places are proper nouns, so they must be capitalized. 8. Particularly beautiful. The adverb particularly is modifying the adjective beautiful. Adverbs modify adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. 9. Cover. Verb meaning to reach all the places. Ghent, Brussels, etc. in this particular context. 10. Those cities. The demonstrative adjective, those, is used because here cities are plural, and the speaker is talking about the cities being distant. The demonstrative adjective, these, wouldn't work in this particular context because the cities are far away. 11. I'd, contraction of I would. This contraction can also mean I had, so you can work it out from context whether it's would or had. 12. When. An interrogative adverb of time. There's no question mark because the speaker is asking a rhetorical question, a question that doesn't require an answer. Section review. Adverbs. Adverbs of frequency, place, time, manner, degree, sentence, relative, and interrogative adverbs. So, Jake, how often do you travel? I don't usually get to travel, unfortunately. Why is that? Well, here in the United States, most people only get 2 weeks of vacation per year, which isn't a lot in my opinion. So, when was the last time you went abroad to another country? I haven't been abroad since 2015. Where did you go? I headed south to Latin America. Wow, did you enjoy it? I certainly did enjoy it. I loved it so much and really enjoyed practicing my Spanish. Can you speak Spanish? Yes, a little. But I rarely get the chance to practice because all my friends only speak English. I heard that if you go around California, you can find plenty of people who speak Spanish. Yes, I know. My goal for next year is to find more Spanish-speaking people so that I can speak more frequently. Nouns. Nouns are words that we use to refer to people, places, or things. Generally speaking, adjectives and adverbs modify nouns. We're going to focus on countable, uncountable, proper, common, concrete, abstract, collective, and compound nouns. Countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are people or things that you can count. Things or people that can be either singular or plural. All countable nouns have a singular and plural form, i.e., friend, friends, star, stars, eye, eyes, phone, phones, singular and plural form. Uncountable nouns are nouns that cannot be counted. They don't have a plural form, i.e., milk, electricity, power, rice, water, money, are all uncountable nouns and they have no plural form. Good evening, Steve. What are you cooking? I'm cooking some rice with curry. Sounds delicious. You have a lot of rice in the pan. Are you having friends over? Well, I only have enough knives and forks for 3 people, so I just invited my parents over. What about me? You're going to be left out, I'm afraid. That's not very nice. You really need to get some more cutlery, you know. I agree. First in, first serve, I guess. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Good day. Analysis. 1. Rice. Rice is an uncountable noun, so there is no plural form. You cannot say rices. This would be incorrect. 2. This is what we call an interjection in English. They have no grammatical value and basically represent sounds. Others include gur, ow, ah, etc. 3. Friends is a countable noun. You can say friend or friends, adding an S to make the plural form. 4. The noun knives is the plural form of knife. Nouns ending in F or FE are pluralized with VES. For example, calf, calves, wife, wives. 5. The determiner, some, is being used because it's followed by an uncountable noun. cutlery. Determiners are normally used with uncountable nouns in English. 6. Cutlery is an uncountable noun. We cannot say a cutlery, but we can say the cutlery, some cutlery, or much cutlery. 7. First in, first serve is an expression basically meaning whoever comes first can have the first serving. 8. I'll be seeing. The future continuous form, which is will plus be plus verb plus ing, we use the future continuous form to talk about an action or situation in the future that will be happening. Proper nouns. Proper nouns are the commonest type of noun in English. Proper nouns are the names given to people, pets, places, businesses, days, months, significant dates, and art pieces. As a general rule, proper nouns are always capitalized. We must use capital letters for the first letter of a proper noun. What's the plan for this weekend? We're on vacation in Madrid, Spain, so we only have just 2 days to get everything done, Saturday and Sunday, so we're gonna be a little rushed. How wonderful! I agree. 2 days isn't a lot of time. But surely you can go to some museums. I heard that the Prado is an excellent museum with art and sculptures from artists such as Goya and Picasso. Yes, you're right. We will not miss out on the Prado, that's for sure. My husband David is very keen on ancient art rather than contemporary artwork. Just out of interest, which museum has contemporary art in Madrid? That would be the Reina Sofia Museum, to the south part of the city. I don't think we'll go there because during August it's typically very full of people. Although I would love to see the Guernica by Picasso. I bet you'd love to see that painting. I hear it's a marvel. Analysis. 1. Madrid. Cities are proper nouns, hence the capital letter M. 2. Spain. Countries are always capitalized, i.e. France, Sweden, Belgium, etc. 3. Days of the week are always capitalized because they are proper nouns. 4. The Prado is a museum with significant importance, so it's capitalized. 5. Picasso and Goya. These were artists and also people, so they must be capitalized. 6. Names are always capitalized. 7. Than is used to make comparatives in English. For example, she's bigger than me. I'm taller than her. 8. August. Months are proper nouns, so they must be capitalized. Common nouns. Common nouns are the names we designate to general things. Anything that's not specific, such as, for example, proper nouns, that are specific and require capital letters. Common nouns do not require capital letters because they are not specific things. Rather, they are general things like, for example, cat, sock, steak, city, television, computer, etc. Most nouns are either common nouns or proper nouns. Do you prefer to live in a city or town, Rob? I much prefer the inner city life. It's so much more vibrant and interesting. So, do you not mind all the noise and the hustle and bustle that goes with living in a city? Absolutely not. I really believe that cities are the future. It's in the cities that one can find diversity, selection, employment, and many, many more things. What about the countryside? Not your cup of tea then? No, not really. I mean, for a weekend escape, the countryside is great. But in regard to living, I would always choose to live in a big city where I can remain anonymous. Do you like having your anonymity then? Yes, I certainly do. What about you? Do you prefer the countryside or the city? Personally, I much prefer the countryside, although I think I probably wouldn't like it so much after a couple of weeks. I bet. Analysis. 1. City is a common noun, so it is therefore not capitalized. 2. Life is a common noun. It's a common noun because it doesn't refer to anything specific. 3. Hustle and bustle. A very common phrase to refer to lots of excitement and busy activity. 4. 1. A gender-neutral pronoun that we can use to refer to people when talking about anything in a general sense, i.e., one needs to dress well when going to a job interview. 5. Cup of tea. A chiefly British idiomatic expression in English meaning what someone likes, i.e., would you like to play football with us this Saturday? Not really. Football is just not my cup of tea. Saying that football isn't your cup of tea just means that you don't like football. 6. Escape. Verb and noun, and in this case, escape is a common noun. 7. Where. In this case, where functions as a relative adverb in reference to place. The place or destination being a big city. 8. Personally. A sentence adverb. We use sentence adverbs to modify whole sentences. Sentence adverbs also require a comma, i.e., honestly, I don't know what he looks like. Thankfully, our rescuers were able to reach us in time. Honestly and thankfully act as sentence adverbs, but also require a comma. Concrete nouns. Concrete nouns are nouns that represent things that we can experience with any of our 5 senses: vision, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Nouns such as dog, computer, pen, job, etc. are all concrete nouns. What's your favorite subject to study, Maria? I really like the sciences, to be honest. So, do you not like humanities then? Not really. I prefer the sciences because the information is very pure and very truthful. Do you fancy yourself working in a scientific field one day then? To be honest, no. I enjoy studying the sciences, but I would prefer to work with computers. I think computing is far more interesting. Would you like to work with code? Yes, I enjoy coding. Coding languages like HTML and JavaScript are so cool and interesting. Glad to hear that. I'll catch you later. Bye. Analysis. 1. Subject is a concrete noun. It's something that we can touch or hear. 2. Sciences. This is the general, concrete noun. A scientist is the proper noun because it's a person. 3. Humanities is the concrete noun. Remember, the singular form is humanity, so the Y changes to ies in the plural form. For example, cry, cries, felony, felonies, etc. 4. Information is a concrete noun. Also, take note of the noun suffix shin. Other examples are collection, notion, appreciation, notation, etc. 5. Fancy oneself. This is a common expression in English. You can say fancy oneself, yourself, himself, etc. It means what you would like to be or do. 6. Computing. A concrete noun. Nouns can also be gerunds, i.e. verb plus ing, used as objects or subjects of a sentence, i.e. swimming is fun, I love painting, running isn't easy. 7. Enjoy coding. Another example of a noun ending in ing and being used as an object of the sentence. Abstract nouns. Abstract nouns represent things, feelings, or emotions that we cannot represent with our five senses: vision, hearing, taste, smell, and touch, so to speak. Such abstract nouns are, for example, love, hate, fear, consciousness, feeling, etc. What are you reading, Mike? I'm reading a fiction novel about a girl's dramatic experiences back in 18th century France. What sort of dramatic experiences does she have then? Well, she falls in love with a boy and then goes to a boarding school where she's in constant fear because of all the bullying that goes on. She also misses her boyfriend, which fills her up with emptiness. Does she suffer a lot of anger and hate? Yes, but she also receives a lot of compassion from her boyfriend and his family. So luckily, she manages to overcome all the stress and misery of living in a boarding school. This book sounds like a good read. It certainly is. Analysis. 1. Love is a very common abstract noun. 2. Fear. Another example of an abstract noun not represented by our five senses. 3. Emptiness. Very clear example of an abstract noun. 4. Misery is an abstract noun. 5. It certainly is. This is a form of ellipsis, which is short for the book certainly is a good read. Ellipsis is very common in English, and we will use it to make sentences shorter because we already assume the remainder of the sentence. Collective nouns. Collective nouns are used to refer to groups of people, animals, or objects. Collective nouns can be singular or plural. Generally, collective nouns are specific to certain things or people, i.e., a bar of soap, pride of lions, or a pack of hounds. For example, you wouldn't use the collective noun pack to refer to some people. Pack refers to a group of dogs or hounds. Crikey. What's the matter, Dave? I have got a heap of work to do. I hate working, and I'm so tired today. Why are you so tired then? Yesterday, I hiked up a range of mountains. I probably spent at least 4 hours hiking. It's very beautiful, but today I feel exhausted. So what do you think of the nature then? Well, There were swarms of insects, a huge flock of birds flying above, and packs of wolves. I see you weren't short of wildlife then. Absolutely not. I love the wildlife and everything it has to offer. I believe it's one of the best ways to escape the hustle and bustle of the city. Analysis. 1. Crikey. An expression of surprise. 2. Heap. A collective noun that can refer to something being large, especially a workload of some sort. 3. Yesterday. An adverb of time. 4. Range. A collective noun that refers to the grouping of mountains. 5. Swarm. A collective noun that is used to refer to flying insects. Swarm without s is singular and refers to one group of insects. Swarms with s is plural and refers to several groups of flying insects. 6. Flock. A collective noun that refers to a group of birds. 7. Pack. A collective noun that refers to a group of people, animals, or objects, especially if we consider the group to be unwelcoming or unpleasant, i.e., a pack of liars, packs of wolves were about to attack us. 8. Short of is an expression used to mean not enough of or inferior to, i.e., we're short of bread. Could you get me some, please? Compound nouns. Compound nouns are nouns formed together with two or more words, thereby making the noun a compound noun. 2 parts. Compound nouns can either be written as a singular word, highway, pullover, horseshoe, with a hyphen, well-being, fire engine, ribeye, six-wheeler, or written as 2 or more separate words, small talk, city center, hound dog. What's your opinion on the public transportation system in London? Well, the underground system works fantastically well, as do most cities in Europe, although the system is very expensive. My girlfriend, who has to catch the subway every day, has to pay over £100 per month, which I think is a tad too pricey. Maybe you ought to get your driver license then, hey? No way. Driving a car in London is even more expensive. What about getting a motorcycle? Well, motorcycles are fairly dangerous, you know. I was on the lookout for a cheap scooter, though. I don't think a scooter or moped would be too expensive to maintain. The passers-by always have it the best. That's why you need to just walk to work. Are you kidding me? Who on earth in London gets to walk to work? I was just joking. Analysis. 1. Public transportation is a very common compound noun. It doesn't need a hyphen. Generally, when a compound noun has a hyphen, it is because the compound noun itself is very new or just being introduced into society for the first time. When the compound noun becomes more well known, it's common to get rid of the hyphen. 2. Underground. A compound noun that refers to the metro system underground. In American English, subway is more commonly used. 3. As do. The plural do is used because cities are plural. 4. Girlfriend. A compound noun, as is boyfriend. 5. Every day. Careful not to confuse every day with every day. The former being the adjective, i.e., I like your everyday clothes. Every day here is an adjective, and it is modifying the noun clothes. And the latter being two separate words. Every, the adjective, modifies the noun day, i.e., I go to school every day. 6. 100 is a compound noun. Numbers from 21 to 99 always require a hyphen or dash. 7. Tad, a noun meaning a small amount. 8. To get your driver license. Get plus noun equals obtain or receive. The noun being driver license. To get your driver license would be the same as saying to receive or obtain your driver license. 9. Driver license, a compound noun. 10. Motorcycle, compound noun. You can see that it's a compound noun due to the formation of two separate words, motor and cycle. 11. Fairly is a very common adverb that English speakers use to express the degree to which something happens. Rather, quite, and little are also very common, but with higher or lower levels of degree. 12. Lookout. A compound noun that refers to a place where one can see the panorama. 13. Passerby is a compound noun in the singular. The plural form is as above, passers-by. This compound noun just refers to the pedestrians or people walking on the street. 14. What, who, where, how, etc. on earth is a popular expression to express shock, surprise, or anger. 15. Gets to walk. Get plus to plus infinitive literally means to have the opportunity, i.e., they get to travel to South America every year. I get to learn English with English Reservoir. Section review. Nouns. Countable, uncountable, proper, common, concrete, abstract, collective, and compound nouns. Hey, Jessica, do you fancy going for a drive this coming Saturday? Sure, but where would we go? Seeing friends? I was thinking that it would be nice if we left London for the day and go driving around southeast England. It's just so beautiful and green. That's a fantastic idea. I agree. It's really beautiful driving around that part of the UK. Do you think we should take the children? Absolutely not. I'm looking for an escape. Let's leave them with the grandparents. Excellent idea. Do you know of any particular places of interest that we could go see in the countryside? Well, I was thinking that we head to Hever Castle in the county of Kent. Isn't it the castle where Anna Boleyn lived with Henry VIII? Yes, it certainly is. The castle has great significance because it was the residence of Anna Boleyn, the second wife of the former King of England, Henry VIII. The Hever Castle is supposed to be very beautiful, with a Roman-style garden and lots of greenery. I can't wait to go. Me too. Chapter 5. 1. Prepositions. Simple. 2. Section review. 3. Conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. 4. Section review. 5. Interjections. 6. Section review. Prepositions. Prepositions are short words such as but, in, at, on that come in different categories and indicate or express the relationship of a noun or pronoun with the rest of the sentence. There are simple, compound, double, participial, and double prepositions. The most common type of prepositions are simple prepositions, so we will focus only on simple prepositions in this tutorial. Simple prepositions. Simple prepositions are short words that we use before a noun or pronoun to indicate the relationship of the noun to the verb, adjective, or another noun. Simple prepositions are composed mainly of two types, time and place. Hi, my name's Henry. Nice to meet you. Hello, good to meet you, Henry. I'm Jane. What do you do for a living, Jane? Well, I'm a software engineer. I work at a software company in London. That sounds like a very technical type of job. For how long have you been at the company? I've been working there since 2009, but by next year, I plan on moving and working for another company in Southeast London. Why did you decide to change your job? It's mainly because the commute to and from work is a real pain. It takes me about 2 hours, and I have to commute through a lot of tunnels. It's hard work. That's a pity, but at least you managed to find another job that's closer to your home now. That's right, and I only have to wait until next year before I can finally change jobs. Best of luck to you. Thanks. Analysis. 1. At. A preposition of place to describe a place, position at a point, where you are. I'm at Burger King. I work at home. 2. At. A company is a place that's located at a point somewhere, so we use the preposition at. 3. By. To denote time, that is, by can mean no later than. 4. In. Preposition of place and time. In is being used as a preposition of place, meaning in a larger area, such as a city or country, i.e., he lives in Paris. 5. Commute. We use this word in English exclusively for the trip to and from work. He commutes every day to work, and it takes him 25 minutes. 6. To. A preposition of place, meaning from one place to another place, and time, for telling the time, i.e., I work from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock every night. 7. From. Preposition of place, meaning origin, i.e., I come from Nigeria. Also, it's a preposition of time, i.e., he works from morning to dusk. 8. A real pain. An expression denoting that something or someone is a bother. 9. Until. Preposition of time, marking the beginning of something until it ends, i.e., I worked in the center until 2010. Section review. Prepositions. Simple. I need to have my homework assignment done by next Tuesday, and I'm not sure if I'm able to finish it on time. Sure you can. Stop moaning about it and make time rather than complain. What do you suggest I do then? You need to do it at night, in the morning, and on weekdays and weekends. If you do this, you'll definitely finish your assignment by next Tuesday. You're right, but I can only really concentrate for about 2 hours at a time before I get demotivated and tired. Well, if I were you, I would study in parts, that is, from 9 till 11, 12 till 2, etc. Good idea. I guess I'm just not looking forward to doing so much work. That's school, you know. You've got to do what they ask of you. When you complete it, we'll go for a drink on Sunday. Great. I'll look forward to it. Conjunctions. Conjunctions are short words that connect words or sentences together. Basically like joiner words. Without conjunctions, we would have to constantly make extra phrases, which would mean a lot of redundancy. The three types of conjunctions in English are coordinating, subordinating, and correlative conjunctions. The most common type of conjunction is the coordinating conjunction, which will be the main focus of this lesson. Coordinating conjunctions. Conjunctions are words like because, and, or, but, not, either, yet. They are joiner or connector words that connect sentences and words together and show the relationship between them. We need to use conjunctions in English to avoid using full stops after every sentence, which adds flow to the sentence and less redundancy. So, you're heading to university next year? Have you decided which one you want to go to? Well, I would like to go to either one in London or Oxford, but it's very hard to get into Oxford University. I bet it is. Have you done all your research and understood the entrance requisites for both universities? Yes, I've spent a good deal of time researching both universities, and I also understand the requisites for both of them. How much does it cost to go to university in the UK these days? It's so expensive. Have you thought about getting a student loan then? Yes, that crossed my mind, and I'll definitely consider that if need be. I wish you all the best then. Thanks. Analysis. 1. Head to. To go to a place or head in a direction either as part of a career choice or metaphorically speaking. 2. Well. This is a popular word to use in English to begin a sentence. It usually takes a comma after and before the next word. 3. Either. This conjunction is used to give two options. Either apples or pears, you decide. 4. One. Remember, this word is also a pronoun that, in this case, is referring to the university. 5. London and Oxford are both capitalized, have capital letters, because they are places and thus proper nouns. Proper nouns are always capitalized. 6. To bet, an idiom and verb used in everyday language to express certainty that we're even willing to bet over it, idiomatically of course. 7. And, conjunction being used to connect two things, research and research requisites. 8. A good, great deal of, an expression to express a high quantity of something. 9. Or, Conjunction being used to connect two things together. The university is not expensive or easy. Section review. My friend and I want to do some traveling around Europe next year in July. We were thinking of going by train or hitchhiking. What do you reckon? I reckon the train would be a better option. You can get cheap tickets off Interrail and travel throughout Europe. It should be good fun for you guys. Yeah, I bet. Which countries are you planning on seeing? Well, I really want to see a lot of countries in Central and Eastern Europe, yet I don't think I'll have enough time to see them all. How long will you be traveling for? Roughly 2 weeks. Then I have to head back to Australia because my visa will expire. You can always come back and do it next year. Which countries were you wanting to see? Lots. Hungary, Austria, Bulgaria, Germany, Slovenia, and many more. You've got plenty of time. Don't sweat it. Interjections. Interjections are short words or phrases that act independently. Interjections aren't grammatically related to any other parts of speech, and they all have their own meaning or expression. Usually, an exclamation mark, question mark, full stop, or a comma are used with interjections. Such interjections are, for example, phew, ouch, whoa, gee, Interjections are very common in English, and they are usually small words that express emotions, either negative or positive. Interjections are not important words, grammatically speaking, but they are very frequently used in English. Whoa, look, it's a snake. I don't like snakes at all. Can we call someone to remove it, please? Look, I think it's better that we just wait until it decides to go away. Here in Australia, it's normal for the occasional snake to crawl around in the city. I'm not a fan of snakes at all. I don't like the way they slither around. Neither do I, to be honest. Huh? I said neither do I, to be honest. I'm also not a fan of snakes or any types of insects. Oh, okay. Alas, the snake is finally moving. I was getting worried we'd be here for a while. Phew, it's about time. Let's take precautions to make sure this doesn't ever happen again. Yes, absolutely. Analysis. 1. Whoa. An interjection that expresses sudden emotion or fascination. Usually it will take the exclamation mark. 2. Ah. Interjection that expresses various emotions of any sort. 3. Ugh. Interjection that expresses disgust or fear. 4. To be a fan. One can say that he or she is a fan of something or someone, even though they might not be. It's a way of speech, an idiom. 5. Huh? Interjection that usually takes the question mark. It's a more informal way of saying pardon or I don't understand. 6. Alas. Interjection used to express grief or compassion. 7. We'd. Contracted form of we would. It could also be we had. You've got to take care with the context and make sure you understand which the correct contraction is. 8. Phew. Interjection that usually takes the exclamation mark or comma and is a way of expressing relief. Section review. Interjections. I'm really not feeling like going to work tomorrow. I hear you. Mondays are everyone's worst day of the week. I wish we had 3-day weekends. Gee whiz. Well, I think we have a 3-day weekend coming up next week. It's a bank holiday, I believe. That gives me an idea. Huh? An idea. So what's your idea then? Well, since we have a 3-day weekend coming up, I'll go for a drive around New York State. I've always wanted to do that. What about you, Jim? What will you do? I haven't really thought about it. Maybe I'll take my wife and kids out to go bowling. They love it. I'm sure you'll have a good time. Anyhow, we'll catch up soon. Have a good one. You too. Catch you later, George.